ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णा प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णा चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थे सुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्म हृदयादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुकी। Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 3, verse number 13. So this is Sage Antariksh, who is continuing to reply to the question of, say, King Nimi, who had asked about the Maya of Bhagavan, that please explain this Vishnu's Maya, how it bewilders. And also the Harikathamrita, because description of Maya is also related to Hari. So Antariksh first explained how the Lord, He creates Panch Mahabhutas and the world, and how the living entity is performing material acts to enjoy and ultimately for liberation. So various types of birth he undergoes, And then there is a cycle of creation and destruction. So he's talking about destruction now. So at the time of destruction, he said that for 100 years there is heat, fire coming from below, and the sun also shining from above. And then there is a rain for 100 years, and wind is blowing. So then he describes what the wind does. So he says, Vayuna ritgandha bhu salilatvaya kalpate salilam tad dhritrasam jyotistvaya kalpate. That this wind, which is the wind of dissolution, so it takes away the smell from the earth. And when the smell is removed from the earth, it becomes water. Because smell is the special characteristic of earth. Gandhavati Prithvi. So without Gandha, Prithvi is water. So Prithvi does not remain Prithvi. And air has the characteristic to take away the Gandha. Fragrance is taken away by the air. So this air takes away all of it. The normal air takes little bit, not everything. So he says, Vayuna Hritgandha. So it takes complete fragrance out of the earth, and then it becomes water. And from the water has the taste. So it also takes away the taste from the water. Then it becomes fire. Jyotistvaya kalpate. And hritrupam tu tamsa vayo jyotihi praliyate. And the darkness, so darkness is not absence, as we study in the Nyaya. Darkness is also a padartha. It's also a substance. So tamsa hritrupam. So this darkness takes away the color. Because in darkness you don't see any color. So then the vayo jyoti praliyate. So the fire becomes air. Because fire has color, air does not have color. So fire turns into air. And hrit sparsho avkashene vayur nabsi liyate. And from the air, the touch is taken away by the akasha. The sky takes away the sense of touch, the quality of touch. And then air turns into, it merges into space, ether. And indriyani manobuddhi no kalatmana hrita gunam nabhaya atmani liyate. And time takes away the quality of the akasha, which is shabda, sound. So sound comes to an end in time. You speak something, after some time that sound is gone. So time takes away the quality of the sound from the akasha. Then akasha enters into tamasic ahankara. So tama nabha atmani. Atmani here means tamasic ahankara. Nabha atmani liyate. And indriyani manobuddhi saha vaikarike nrita pravishanti hi ahankaram swagunairaham atmani. Then the senses, which are 10, and the buddhi, they enter into the rajasic ahankara, because they come from the rajasic ahankara. And mano vaikarike nripa, manas and the Vaikarika, the devas, Each sense has got one Deva also, one presiding deity, like hands presiding deity is Indra, the presiding deity of the eyes is Sun. For the ears is Ashwani Kumara, like that. So then all these enter into Sattvic Ahankara. Pravishanti hi Ahankaram Swagunair Ahamatmani. And then Ahankara, it enters into Mahat-tattva. Atman here means Mahat-tattva. And Mahat-tattva goes into Prakriti. So it's everything merging back in the cause. So it is the same process, the way the creation happens, the dissolution happens in the opposite direction. So you can read the 26th chapter of 3rd canto that describes how from Prakriti comes Mahat-tattva, Ahankara and all this senses, mind, buddhi. So in great detail these are described there. So here he is giving very brief going back. So the same thing, as they come, they enter back into the... So there from the cause the effect comes, here the effect is going into the cause. So this is the whole process of Avirbhava and Tirobhava. Manifest and manifest, manifest and manifest. Then this is the whole play.
Bhavaji, then in a sense, I'm just seeing at like a very atomic level, it is very difficult to see it this way. So would it be correct to say then that all the dravyas are of one nature and then just qualities are manifest in them and then getting unmanifest in them?
One nature means?
Means the adhikarana is the same and then qualities are getting manifest or qualities are getting unmanifest. For example, we discussed this, if you remove smell from earth, it becomes water. So
yeah, but water is not same.
Yeah, no, that is why I am asking. So is that distinction still exists in the adhikarana or? Okay.
Yeah, it is a different adhikarana.
So it would be then rather in the sense that this particular dravya itself is getting destroyed.
Yeah.
Okay. So by the destruction of a quality, this dravya is getting destroyed and that is considered.
Yeah, destroyed means it is,
it is getting into the cause.
Manifest.
Yeah.
Everything regarding each element is mentioned that just like example, Vayu takes away the gandh of the bhu, but what takes away the rasa of the salil so that it becomes jyoti? That is not
Vayu.
mentioned.
Vayu only.
Okay, so Vayu takes
salilam tadhrita. Tad means Vayu. Tat is mentioned there.
So Vayu takes away gandh of the bhu as well as rasa of the salil.
Yeah.
Babaji, I didn't understand the last part of the verse 15. So Indriyas and Buddhi enter in the Rajasika Ahankara, and then Manas with the Devatas enter in the Sattvika Ahankara. And then the last line, I don't understand who enters where. So Ahankara enters in...
Ahankaram Swagunair Aham Atmani. So Aham means Ahankara. Swagunai means its own effects.
Okay,
Whatever
karyas,
they ought to enter into Atma. Atma here means Mahat-tattva.
Okay. Thank you.
And then it is not mentioned, but Mahat-tattva enters into Prakriti. So that is, you can understand by extrapolation. It's not... That's why I said that very briefly he has said it. Mohini.
It was explained that the air removes the gandha.
Air removes the gandha, and then?
Air removes the gandha and of the Prithvi, and that causes its merging into the water and etc. What exactly is removed on the level of level of that akasha enters into the tamasic ahankara. What is removed from the akasha that it enters, and that the tamasic
Shabda, sound.
Okay. Yeah, that is clear. Yeah. And what exactly causes the removal? What is removed from the senses and the buddhis that it enters?
Nothing is removed, they just go back.
They just go back.
Purushottam Prabhu.
So all these changes basically are happening on cosmic level.
Yes.
You cannot do this on microscopic level basically. One cannot say I'm going to remove the ganda and I'm going to see experimentally whether water becomes or not. That cannot be performed, right, basically?
Because you don't have that air which removes it. This is a samvartak air. So that's a special air which does that.
So same thing also in the creation there. You don't have that element which can make this,
No.
Okay, thank you.
Also time is important. It is not, we understand this, that every activity, like that according to Nyaya there are 9 general causes behind every action. So Kala, time is also general cause. So it will happen only at that time. That is the whole idea, that it is time for dissolution. Just like you have the seeds. So only when rainy season comes, then you see a lot of plants coming up, right? Weeds, many things. At other time they do not come up, even if it rains. Rain cannot, many times it rains. Like now it may rain, or it may rain in December in winter time. At that time those things don't come up. But when it is raining in rainy season, then a lot of plants, they sprout from earth. So the seeds are there, but the time is not there. So therefore time is also a factor. So this process does not, air may be blowing now, but it is not going to do that. There may be heavy rain also. So time is also a factor. That's why it says Kalatmana. So Kala is also important. So that's what he has said earlier also. Dhatu upapalava asanne vyaktam dravya gunatmakam anadi nidhana kalo hi avyaktaya karsati. Verse number 8, which we did yesterday. So he says Kala, the time which has no beginning and no end. So vyaktam hi avyaktaya karsati. So it pulls the manifest to unmanifest. So that Kala is actually working in all these things which are being described. Without that it will not happen. So just like we know that now all activities, they happen at a particular place and time. So those are also. So adhikaran is also there. Adhikarana tatha chesta karanam cha prithak vidam vividhascha prithak chesta devam cha. So adhikarana is also there. So time is also important. So let's read the commentary. There is not much which is described here. So it says evam karyasya samasti virajo layam uktva tat karnanam mehadadi prithvyantanam tattvanam pratilomyena layamaha vayunaiti. So Karya or Samasti Viraj, the cumulative Viraj form, Adhibhatik form of Viraj Brahma. So that Laya was described earlier. Right? There are three types. He said if he is coming from Karma Marg, they will come back. If it is Gyan Marg, they enter into Brahman. If they are devotees, they enter into Vaikuntha. So that is the Samasti Viraj. And now the Karananam, Karanas, Mahad, etc., which make this body. So Prithvi Antanam, beginning from Mahat up to the Prithvi. So Tattvanam Pratilomyena Layamaha. So in the converse order, their dissolution is being described. Vayunaiti. Vayorhi Gandharas Haritvam Prasiddham. So it is well known that air, it takes away the fragrance from anything. If the air is coming, then smell goes along with it. Samvartakena Vayuna Hritgandha Bhu. So this is a Vayu. Which is Vayu is this? Samvartak Vayu. So air at the time of dissolution. So Hritgandha Bhuhu Prithvi. So then the earth from which the fragrance has been extracted. So Salilatvaya Kalpate. Then it turns into water. That is the meaning, that it merges into water. Salila liyate tyartha. That is the meaning, that it merges back into water. It came from water, it goes back into the water. Otherwise also, if you see the earth, there is a lot of water around it. It came from earth. Varahadev also lifted the earth from water. Said that it was merged. It was submerged in water, right? Earth. That's what is described, that Hiranyaksha, he took the earth and threw it inside. Then Varahadev uplifted. So Varaha is also very good at smelling. So therefore he took out the earth from water, because the element of smell is what brings the water into earth. That is also the significance of. So he brings it on his, what you call, snout, tusk. Is it called tusk? No. Snout, yeah. So that's where they, if you see the boars, they're always like with their snout, they're always scratching the earth. So this is what he did. So he extracted the earth from the water. Tadhrit rasam tena vayuna eva hrito raso yasya tat salilam sarvameva. And then salila, so from that the taste was taken out. So that is the special characteristic of water, is taste. So when taste is removed, then it turns back into fire. So therefore salilam sarvameva. So the complete water turned into fire. And tamsa samvartakena hritrupam, fire, its characteristic is color. So the samvartaka tamas, it took away the color, because tamaso rupa tiraskaritvam prasiddhameva. So it is well known that in darkness you don't see any color. So it took away the color. Then fire turned into air. So iti bhava. And then avkasha means akasha. Akashena svakaranena kalatmana kalrupena iti sabdasya kalata eva nasa prasiddha. So that took away the touch. He is not mentioning it here, but understood. And then air turned into Akasha. And from Akasha, the time took away the Shabda. So, Shabdasya kalata eva nasa prasiddha. So, sound gets destroyed in time by itself. There's nothing you have to do. You speak, make any sound, with time it is gone. And then Atmani Tamas Ahankara. Then this Akasha merged into Tamasic Ahankara. Because Ahankara is of three types: Rajasic, Sattvic, Tamasic. From Tamasic comes the Tanmatra of Akasha and all the elements. From the Rajasic Ahankara come Buddhi and the 10 senses and Prana. And from the Sattvic Ahankara comes Manas and the Devas of the senses. So they go back into the corresponding Ahankara. So that is being described here. Indriyani Buddhischa Rajas Ahankaram. The senses and the intellect went back to Rajas Ahankara. And Mano Vaikarika is Devaisa. And Manas along with the Devas. So Vaikarika here refers to the Devas. So Vaikarika is used the word for Sattva. Vigato Kara Yasmat iti Vaikarika. So Sattvic Ahankaram. Evam Trividhai Swagunai Swakarai Sahita. Then this Ahankara, which has three divisions, so it, along with its all the effects, because they are inside it, it goes back into Mahat Tattva. That is the word Atma means. Sahita Aham Ahankara Atmani. So Atma here means Mahat. And Mahat is such a Mahan Prakrita iti Drashtavyam. And then Mahat Tattva goes into Prakriti. So this all happens by the influence of time. So time goes and then it goes back. Just like you put the seed and it takes some time for it to, first it swells, then starts cracking, then sprouts. So the same thing happens. It also takes time to go back. So that is the explanation. Then verse number 16. So he says, Esha Maya Bhagavataha Sarga Sthiti Antakarini Trivarna Varnita Asmabhi Kim Bhuya Shotum Ichchasi. So his question was about Maya. So he says that this is the Maya of Bhagavan. So what is Maya doing? Three things. Creates, then maintains, dissolves. So that's why you see sometimes Durga Devi is carrying the trident in her hand. So trident has got three prongs on it, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. That's what it is saying. So she hits you with the three gunas. Pierces that. Or Lord Shiva is also carrying that Trishul, means he is the master of those. It is in his control. That is the significance. Snakes means time. He has snakes around him. Snake signifies time. Kala. Snake is also called Kala Sarpa. Because snake makes the round like that, and time is like that, goes in cycle. So it's making the round around him. So it means he is the controller of time, and the gunas creates. And that's what it signifies. So therefore he says that this is the Maya of Bhagavan. It does Sarga, Sthiti, Antakarani. and therefore it has 3 colors. So, Lohita, Sukla, Rakta, red and black and white.
Recording in progress.
Came back. Okay, so this is, sometimes it is described that it has 3 colors. So red signifies Rajas, white signifies Sattva, black signifies Tamas. Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. So therefore it says that this is the 3 varna, Varnita Asmabhi, that we have described this 3 colored. Kim bhuya shrotum ichchasi. Says, what more do you want to hear? Then we can explain that also. So 3 varna, 3 guna. So 3 colors here refers to the 3 gunas. Maya, Pradhan Rupa, Varnita, Lakshita. So this is the Pradhan Rupa. Avidya Rupayastu Tasya Lakshanam Rite Arthamiti Anene Ditya Skandhe Prokta. So Maya has got 2 parts in it. One is called Gun Maya, other is called Jiva Maya. In Paramatma Sandarbha Jiva Goswami makes these 2 divisions. So Gun Maya refers to the gunas, and Jiva Maya refers to the Pradhana and so on. So there are two ways it works. Jiva is there, Atma. So Atma has its own consciousness. So this consciousness, 2 things happen. One is that it is covered, avaran, another is vikshep. So there is avidya and vidya. 2 parts are there. So sattva gives knowledge and rajas tamas they give vikshep. So they put you in entanglement. You cannot be entangled unless your knowledge is covered. So therefore first knowledge is covered, then you are entangled. But to entangle you, it has to have the material things outside. So that is this Gun Maya, the Pradhana, Mahatattva. So that's why he is making that Pradhan Rupa and Avidya Rupa. So one is which is the physical thing, which gives you earth, water, fire, air and all these things. Other is which is subtle inside you, which is not out. One is outside, this material world is created, and one is inside you. So these companies, the manufacturing companies, they make a product and then they want to sell it. So they do advertisement. So they are doing 2 things. One is that they have the physical object outside, that is the Gunamaya. Other is the Jivamaya. They have to also put something inside you. They have to put desire inside you to buy this. So if they only put the desire and there is nothing to buy, then it is useless. So some companies have failed like that also, that they advertise and people want to buy but they cannot supply. So then companies go bankrupt. So they have to balance that. That demand and supply should be together. So this is what the advertisements are doing. That advertisement is putting the program inside you. And then they have the product outside. So then when you go to the mall, then you say, oh, This is what I want. I want Gucci. So it may be the same bag another company is making, but now this name is ringing in you. So you pay 5 times, 10 times more. This is the trick. This is the Maya. So he says, what more you want to hear? He says, I'm describing you the Maya. What more you like to hear?
Babaji, here I was thinking, could we extend this also in the sense that whenever we see some object, suppose we see table or something, we actually don't see the table, we see the vritti that is forming. So the formation of that vritti, can we take it to be because of Maya?
Yeah, this is the Maya.
So, no, I'm asking because we made it into 2 categories. So, the pradhana there, the prakriti. So that is one that is existing, no doubt. So how we are perceiving that is also
perceiving. It's not just that you see it as a table. That's not good enough. It's a table. Oh, I like this.
Okay, so yeah, okay.
That is the thing. If you don't like it or don't dislike it, that is not Maya.
Got it. So the
then
perception.
you are out of Maya.
So the perception is also there, and then there is raga dvesha also.
Right. So that raga dvesha is what is inside you. So that you put on to this. Table is table. But I like this table. Why you like this table? Because you have been programmed to think like that. Whatever, maybe not always advertisement, but something has programmed you that I want this only, not the other one. Sometimes you see children do that you can even give them better object, they will not know, I want this only. So their programming is there. So it's not only children, the grown-up people also like that. That's the whole talk of inner child. They're physically grown up, but inside the child is lingering. So he says, I want this car only, this only. So the child is wanting the toy car. He's looking for another bigger car that is also toy car. So this definition of this was given in 2nd canto. Ritayartham yat pratiyeta na pratiyeta cha atmani tadvidyad atmano maya yatha yatha tama yatha bhasa tatha yatha tama. That is in 2nd canto 9th chapter. Yatha bhasa yatha tama. So yat ritayartham yat pratiyeta, which appears without the reality, means the reality is not there. Na pratiyeta cha atmani, but it will not be in the atma, in the Bhagavan, it is not there. So like the shadow is there where the light is not there, but it is not in the light. And tadvidyad atmano maya, know that to be the maya of atmana means Bhagavan. Yatha bhasa tathatam. Yatha bhasa yathatam, and the darkness and the reflection. Those examples are there.
Verse commentary. So when he says in the last line of the 15th verse commentary, he says Trividher evam trividher swagunai swakarya sahit aham ahankara atmani mahati. So he says along with the gunas along with their karyas.
Guna means karya. That is the swaguna is in the verse and he is translating.
Okay, so guna has been glossed as karya.
Okay. So now the king is asking more because he wants to hear.
Just one, I don't know if this is the right way to think, because we also consider Avyayi as Paramatma. So would it be wrong to say Avyayi is Maya?
Yeah, Avyayi can be used for. Where is Avyayi?
No, I'm just asking because we are talking about perception of things. So Avyayi as the holes in the world. Should we take it as Maya or we keep it as something separate?
Avyayi you are saying or Avyayi?
Sorry, Avyayi.
Okay,
Yeah,
and you are confusing me.
Yeah, sorry. Avyayi.
Avyayi is Maya.
So when we say as Paramatma, we take it as Shaktiman.
Srishti.
Dandavat Pranam Babaji. It's possible that sometimes, despite being situated in Sattva, if we say have a strong rooted belief that Atma doesn't exist, so it's possible that such a person may have Atma Darshan and not even accept it, because for them Atma doesn't exist. So what kind of Maya would that be?
No, he is not going to have Atma Darshan like that. Atma is not visible like that. So he is not going to have it. To have Atma Darshan, you have to perform some sadhana. And that is only possible if you theoretically understand it first. Atma Darshan is not some object lying outside that you will have Atma Darshan. For that you have to do Chitta Vritti.
Yes, so if someone is doing that, if they are cleansing their mind, however, the foundation of like yesterday you were discussing about Buddhism, so the whole principle there is to cleanse the mind. However, if Atma doesn't exist, then
so they will not have.
The person is getting Atma. Is it possible?
No, they will not have.
Getting Atma Darshan is cleansing yourself. However, if you don't believe that Atma exists, then even if either you are getting darshan and not realizing it, or you're not getting darshan because you don't believe in it. So if you don't get darshan, what Maya is that?
So not believing is itself a Maya. That is also avidya, and that means he is not cleaning yet. Cleaning means what? Getting rid of ignorance. It is avidya, asmita, rag, dvesa, abhinivesh. So he is still in, he may have removed some other avidyas, but this avidya is hanging there. So you have to remove that. Okay. So Raja Uvacha. So king, he asked, Yatha etam aishwarim mayam dustaram akritatmabhihi taranti anja sthuladhiyo maharsha idam uchyatam. So he says that, oh great sage, please explain to me or describe to me that how a materialistic person can overcome or become free from this Maya of Ishvara, Aishwarim Mayam. Yatha etam Aishwarim Mayam dustaram. It is very difficult. Krishna also says this in Gita, Mammaya Duratyaya. Duratya means very difficult to transgress. So here also says dustaram, means very difficult to cross over. By whom? Akritatma bhi. So people who are not kritatma. So krita here means those who have attained or executed duties, etc. They are called krita, means they are situated in sattva. who have understanding. So akritatma bhi means that they are materialistic people, they are ignorant, and sthul dhiya, and their intelligence is not very refined, means they are foolish, stupid people, because they cannot see beyond just material sense gratification. So how can such people also go beyond this maya without much difficulty? Anja means easily. So can you please explain that to me? Although it was already said by them, tan maya to buddhavajhitam bhaktya ekya isham guru devtatma. He already said, bhayam datu abhinivesta sadhi satapita viparyo smriti. Says because of maya, all these things happen, fear and vismriti, etc. And the solution also he gave that they should worship Isha because it is his maya. So you have to surrender to him. As Krishna says, Mameviya prapadyante. But he wants to again hear more on that, more clearly. Because sometimes certain things, if they are just said in passing, they are not grasped. So there he just said, Tanmaya Atabuddha Abhajhetam. Or is there any other way besides doing bhajan? Because we don't want to do that. Taking to devotion sounds little difficult thing because you become secondary. There is somebody superior to me. But if you do yoga, etc., you remain boss yourself, I can bend my body like this, I can stand on my head, look. And you don't have to surrender to anybody. But in bhakti they say, oh, you have to take shelter, saranagati. This is little problematic. So therefore he is asking, is there some easy path? So I want to know. So some people, even if he doesn't have this doubt, maybe someone else is thinking like this. So he is speaking on their behalf, that I don't want to follow bhakti. Like many times people write that, I don't like this idea of becoming manjari, He says, this doesn't sound good to me. Is it possible that I can be a devotee and not opt for this and be a Gaudiya Vaishnava? So it sounds little demeaning that I am a man, I have to become a woman. I don't want that. I don't want that. So here bhakti also, that I have to surrender to somebody, I don't want that. So therefore he is asking that, is there some other simple process? This is difficult. So then Prabuddha he replies. So Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti says, Yadyapi tan maya to buddha abhajetam iti ukter bhaktya eva mayam taranti iti ragya nischitam eva tadapi tatratyan vidvan maninah karmino drishtva pritchate. So he is saying that although the king, he understood that the process is that we have to perform bhakti, and it is only through bhakti that you can cross over maya. He has no doubt about it. But there were some other scholars sitting there in his assembly who thought that they are learned people and bhakti is for little dull-headed people. So he saw them and then he asks that, is there any other solution? So like that he says, yatha iti. So akritatma bhiriti yug paryaptayo kritam iti paryapti paripurnata. So akrita means who is not fulfilled yet, who is not perfected, imperfect. So itaram iti amarokte, according to Amarkos, the krita means yuga. Krita is also, for Satyuga is also called krita yuga. And paryaptya means paripurnata. So kritkritya means one who has attained perfection is called kritakritya. So amarokter apurnatvam, he is incomplete, unfulfilled. Mandatvam says dull head. Ato mandadhibhir dustaram api sthuldhiya. Sthuldhiya means karmi, etc. They want to perform yajna, all this. Anjaha sukheneva yatha taranti. Anja means without much difficulty, anayasene. Sukhena means anayas, without much effort they can cross. Idam ucchatam, please explain to them. So what he is saying is, sunah puchcham alambya dustaram api samudram sukhena yatha taranti taducchatam iti. So as if he is asking a question that please explain to me how somebody can cross the ocean which is very difficult to cross by holding the tail of a dog. He says it's very easy that you put a dog in the ocean and the dog is going to swim and you hold the tail of the dog and then he will take you to the other side. So like that, bhakti is difficult. So tell me some other simple process like this. Because foolish people think like that, sthuldhiya, that he is going to cross the ocean by catching the tail of a dog. So taducchatam, please explain to me that. Is it possible? So kasyit kamapi yatha prichati tathaiva tatratyan karmina prati sakataksha bhangika. So he said, just like some foolish guy may ask this question, that can I cross the ocean by catching the tail of a dog? So like that he is also asking this question as if he is making a sarcastic remark of those people who think they are smart and don't want to do bhakti. So therefore he is asking this. So iti prasno ayam ragyogeya. So he says this is the question of the king.
Anja Taranti, so is he, I mean, what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is telling, that is it a kataksha to karmis? This word Anja, because of Anja he is giving the example of the catching hold of the dog's tail.
Yeah.
Which means bhakti is not Anjasa, it is difficult.
That's why I said that bhakti is problematic, because you have to take shelter. Without that it's not possible. There is very nice commentary by Vallabhacharya on this. I will read it. This is exactly this point he makes. So he says, Tadevaha, that he is saying, he is answering this question. He says, Na prishtaha kasyachit bruyat. He says, you should not speak unless you are asked to speak. Iti prasna. So, vela kula anta vegitvad akritabhir iti yuktam. So, akritatum bhir iti yuktam vela kula anta vegitvad. So, vela kula is waves, and heavy waves are going, but they are not able to cross it. Sthuldhiya iti mamevaya prapadyante iti api nirakritam. And sthuldhiya means that they don't want to surrender. Alaukik tapharihi maharshi. Maharshi, they are able to remove the distress. Pratipuras upaya parigyana, the eka eva nirdharitam ekam upaya bhakti iti ek vachanam. Says, please speak one means Sthuldhiyo Bahirmukha. So he is commenting who are the Sthuldhiyas. Sthul means gross, Dhi means gross intelligence. Who are the people who have gross intelligence? He says they are Jnani, Jnana Bhakti Rahita, Bahirmukha. Materialistic people, they don't have knowledge, they have no bhakti. Tatra Sthuldhiyam Taranupayo Vaktavya. So please give me some means for the thick-headed people. So Mameve Prapadyante iti eva karana sarvesam anupayatvam pratiyate. स्थूल बुद्धि स्थापयत्वा एव उपायो वक्तव्य इति नाग्रह किंतु स्थूल बुद्धि नाम अपि यथा तरणं सिद्ध्यति तथा उपायो वक्तव्य. So he says मामेव प्रपद्यन्ते इति एव कारेण सर्वेषाम् अनुपायत्वं प्रतीयते. So he says, Krishna says you have to surrender to me, but Sthul Buddhi thinks that this is not the upaya. So Sthul Buddhi sthapyatvaya upaya vaktavya iti nagra. So he says it is not only for Sthul Buddhi, but Sthul Buddhi namapi. And he says tatra upayo Narayana paratvam eva. He says the means is only taking shelter of Narayana. Tad bhaktya sacha bhagavad dharmair bhagavad shastra sadhanatvein pratipadati. And that is by bhakti, and that has been explained in the shastra related with Bhagavad Dharma. So he says techa guru sevaya, and that is by doing service to Guru. Svacha guru saranam gatasya tacharanam gamnam ek ahi kamasmik phal bhog viraga bhave na bhavati. But those people who do not give up the desire here or going to heaven, that is not possible for them. So tasya tattva grahana iti vachanat, that they cannot understand the tattva. Tatra hik vairagyam stridhan bhedena. So then he goes on. So basically what he's saying is that these people, they do not want to follow the process of bhakti. They think that there is some other process, but there is no other process. That's what he is trying to explain. So then Prabuddha is going to reply to this. So is there any question on this? Otherwise we can do one more sloka. Sandeep.
So my question is actually 2-3 points are there. First is that when he is giving the process of creation and then dissolution. So basically, like how do we, what is the taratparya behind these messages that it is the greatness of the Lord, or?
No, the question was explain me to Maya Bhagavana. That was the question asked by King Nimi. That I want to understand this Maya Bhagavan. That's why the last verse when he concluded, he said, this is the Maya Bhagavan. Remember, Esha Maya Bhagavata. And this is the Bhagavan's Maya. Because he asked for it. He says, what more do you want to hear?
Last verse is 17, you are saying. 17 or 16?
16.
That's 16.
So this Esha Maya Bhagavata has to be applied to every sloka above.
Okay. So in this process of dissolution, so basically these tanmatras are removed from the padartha, the panch tattvas. So then one tattva goes into the other, something like that. Because you had explained that from tamsik ahankara, the tattvas and tanmatras come out. So the opposite happens, like the first tanmatra is removed.
The quality. The quality of earth is, earth has the quality of, no, there are three things. One is Prithvi, and there is a earth, Tanmatra of Prithvi, and there is a quality of Prithvi. So quality of Prithvi is Gandha, fragrance. And its Tanmatra is also called Gandha, but you say Gandha Tanmatra. So there is a Gandha Tanmatra, then Prithvi, and then there is Gandha. So Gandha is the Guna, Prithvi is the Bhuta, Mahabhuta or Tattva, and Tanmatra is Gandha Tanmatra. It's called by the same name.
Because all elements will be along with Tanmatras only, no? The Tanmatra cannot be removed.
From Tanmatra come the element.
Achha, from Tanmatra element. Okay.
You can think of Tanmatra as the unmanifest state of the element.
Okay.
All right. Roads.
Pranam Babaji. So I have always been curious about the Mahatattva, but I haven't actually studied enough Sankhya to really understand it. So I wanted to ask if you could elaborate a little bit on the Mahatattva to help me understand it better.
So Mahatattva is like, it's also sometimes called like cosmic intelligence. But to give you a practical understanding is like when you are sleeping and you had a very nice sleep and then you wake up. So when you wake up, then for a short period you don't have your sense of I yet. You are just awake, but you are not very clear where you are, who you are. It's a very short period, and then say, oh, I am here. So that is the state before your ahankara kicks in, because ahankara comes from Mahatattva. So it is the pre-state of ahankara, where you the existence is there, but you don't feel I yet. Sometimes it happens, especially when you have good sleep and you wake up and you're like lost whereas you are, what is happening. So that is the Mahatattva state. Then comes I.
A little glimpse of it.
Yeah. Yeah, you can think like.
I'm actually curious if you have time for this conversation now. I understand if there's not time, but I'm actually curious from a more theoretical perspective. So this is maybe a too specific question, but I was wondering if we were looking for a place in Gaudiya metaphysics to put Plato's forms, his eternal forms with a capital F, could we put them in the Mahatattva theoretically?
Whose form?
Is that where they would belong? Or they,
whose
like,
form?
So in Mediterranean philosophy, Plato he proposes that there's this world of eternal forms. So like the beauty, like the, I don't know. I mean
no, that is in Nyaya we have what is called universals.
Yeah, exactly.
So
is that related to Mahatattva at all, or completely different?
No, it's not Mahatattva.
No. Okay.
No.
So if where in Nyaya the universals, like where in the I guess they're made out of Prakriti, right? Are they, or are they more made out of like pure spiritual substance? Or
No, they are not spiritual. They are matter, but they are eternal.
Okay.
They are not created.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But what level in like the Sankhya system?
No, Sankhya you cannot map that onto Sankhya. It's a different system, It's not possible to map that onto Sankhya.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay. Thank you.
Mohini.
Can you maybe explain the word Tanmatra? Does it mean?
I already said tanmatra means, literally it means that only. Tat matra.
So, tanmatra, because matra means mapane dhatu means to measure or by what something is experienced. So
You cannot, it is not, it is beyond experience, you cannot experience it.
Okay, so it does not mean that guna by which Prithvi is experienced, that is the tanmatra of Prithvi.
You cannot always apply your measuring and then give that. Matra means only this much. That means that much only. Which means it is the essence. That's what it means. Tanmatra means the essence, the essential thing, like the seed. So when you can say seed and tree, so Prithvi, earth is like the tree, and Tanmatra of Prithvi is like the seed of Prithvi. So that's what you call Tanmatra. Okay.
This is the Tat Sarvanama in this word.
Yeah, ta becomes na because there is a ma after that by sandhi. Okay.
That is the tasya matra. Tasya matra becomes tanmatra.
What tatya tat? What tat?
That is a sama tanmatra.
Tat matra, that's all.